rise today to appeal to this august body. Let us reconvene the Quad Committee in the 20th Congress. Let us continue the investigation into the extrajudicial killings that scarred our nation, targeted the poor while leaving the powerful untouched. But, Madam Speaker, the process of reckoning is far from over. There is still work that must be done. Truth that remain hidden, perpetrators who remain unpunished, and families who still wait for answers. That is why I rise today to appeal to this august body. Let us reconvene the Quad Committee in the 20th Congress. Let us continue the investigation into the extrajudicial killings that scarred our nation. Let us show the Filipino people that justice does not expire with time, and that this Congress has the courage to finish what it has started. Under our rules, Madam Speaker, a joint inquiry or investigation may be conducted if matters are referred to two or more committees. We have a clear procedural framework in place to this, building upon the success of the Quad Committee during the 19th Congress. Originally, the 19th Congress Quad Committee was proposed by Deputy Speaker Aurelio Dong Gonzales in his privileged speech to cover three complex yet interrelated societal problems: the POGOs, illegal drugs, and extrajudicial killings or EJKs. Now, for the 20th Congress, while we still need to look deeper into these three and the pending issues that were left unresolved because of the adjournment of Congress, the proposed Quad Committee will adopt a wider mandate and investigate the persistent and systemic problems of criminality and criminal syndicates that have flourished across the years, often with the aid and protection of past and incumbent government officials. Isa pong halimbawa, lumalabas po ang issue tungkol sa missing sabongeros. Ay maituturing natin na EJKs. May mga aligasyon pa na ilang miyembro ng ating kapulisan ay sangkot sa mga insidenteng ito at mga matataas na tao sa lipunan. Kamakailan ay nakademanda na ng murder ang ilang mga business people tungkol dito, Madam Speaker. Hindi na ito bago sa atin. Ito kahalintulad ng mga kaso ng EJK na ating inaiimbestigahan noong 19th Congress, kung saan may umaabuso sa kanilang kapangyarihan. Ang tanong ngayon, bakit sila pinapatay? May connection ba ang mga kasong ito sa mga naunang EJKs na ating iniimbestigahan? O nagkaroon na ba tayo ng kultura of killing with impunity? Naalala ko ang sinabi ni Secretary Boying Rimulya na maaaring ang missing sabukero ay merong koneksyon sa war on drugs na ginanap noong dating administrasyon. Ito po'y ating iimbestigahan ngayon sa ating Quad Committee in the 20th Congress. Kaya't iginagagalak ko na sa kanyang State of the Nation Address ay sinabi ng ating Pangulo na hindi niya palalampasin ang mga nasa likod ng pagkawala ng mga sabongero. Gusto ko pong sabihin sa inyo, Madam Speaker, na ang representasyong ito ay una na nag-expose dito noong 19th Congress o noong 14th Congress din naman, kung saan makikita po natin na 8 sabongero pa lang ang nawawala. At ilang buwan ay 34 na. Saan po nangyari ito? Ito ay nangyari doon sa aking distrito, sa bayan ng Santa Ana, kung saan pinipigilan po namin ang isang pagpapagawa ng tinatawag ngayong Manila Arena na ang sabi po nila ay gagawin nilang sports complex. Subalit pagkatapos niyan, ginawa yung sabungan. Doon nagsimula, Madam Speaker, ang tinatawag nating sabong. Tapos, nakalimutan na po yan. Hindi na napag-usapan po uli yan. Nagsimula po yan noong dating administrasyon. Ngayon po, more than 100 na ang nawawala. At ang sabi na whistleblower, at ang whistleblower na ito, si Totoy, ay dating head ng security ng Manila Arena doon Santa Ana. Sinong nagbigay ng lisensya dyan? Yung nakaupo mayor dati. yung nakaupong Vice Mayor dati, na ngayon ay Mayor na ng Maynila. Gusto kong tanungin yung mga taong yan, bakit nabigyan ng prangkisa? At bakit nabigyan ng lisensya ang Manila Arena kung saan nakita natin more than 100 na ang nawawalang mga sabungero? Kaya mga kaibigan, sa ating mga kababayan, Madam Speaker, my dear colleagues, ako'y nagpapasalamat sa mga sinabi ng ating Pangulo. Hahabulin, ang sabi niya, at pananagutan natin ang mga utak at mga sangkot, civilian man o opisyal, kahit malakas, mabigat o mayaman, hindi sila mangingibabaw sa batas. Higit sa lahat, ipararamdam natin sa mga salarin ang bigat ng parusa sa karumal-dumal na krimen ng mga ito. Ito po ang sinabi ng ating Pangulo. This is the kind of leadership we need, Madam Speaker. One that recognizes that no one is above the law and that justice must be pursued regardless of social status or political clout. Sa aspeto naman ng katiwalaan sa gobyerno, isa sa mga nananatiling nakabimbing issue mula sa 19th Congress ay ang tinaguriang reward system. Kaugnay ng peking war on drugs na nakaraang administrasyon. May naiwang katanungan tayo sa extent at scale ng rewards. Bukod sa monetary rewards, may kaakibat din bang promotion at assignment to key PNP personnel para sa mga opisyal at general na tumatalima o sumusunod sa kill, kill, kill directive. We also cannot turn a blind eye to the persistent and dangerous threat of illegal drugs. In just the first half of 2025, over 30.29 billion pesos worth of illegal drugs were seized. A clear evidence that the drug trade in our country remains alive, evolving, and deeply entrenched. Reports of Shabu found floating off our coast. Foreign nationals caught smuggling narcotics through our airports. And week after week, drug operations across regions paint a sobering picture. This is not just a law enforcement issue, Madam Speaker. It is a national security crisis being fueled by organized, dangerous criminal syndicates that continue to poison our communities. Ito po, hawak-hawak ko ang editorial ng isang pahayagan na sinulat noong August 1, 2025. Nais ko pong basahin sa inyo ang nilalaman nito. At ang sabi, the national government continues to wage the nationwide anti-illegal drug war without killing anyone. And President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. continues to prove that a bloodless war is effective in addressing the drug problem. From June 2022 to July 2025,